Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a tutorial for my at-home nail routine. I've been doing this for years. I use gel glue. Everything is from Amazon and they last over 2 weeks. Okay, this is what we're starting with. I take this crusty drill, please ignore that, from Walmart. It's only like $10, and I actually think I've been using the same one for like 5 years. That's why it looks disgusting. But this is super important. I just file down my nails to give it more of like a rough surface, and then I also make sure to do a little extra around the edges, getting off any skin from my cuticles, anything like that. This is probably the number one most important step to making the nails last, because our nails are like naturally smooth. If you don't buff them out, there's really nothing for the gel to like hold on to. After that, I'm just gonna lightly trim my cuticles if any are like sticking out, because if you don't, the nail polish could kind of like pool at the bottom and it just gives like a cleaner salon look. Now I'm grabbing my tips. These are coffin shaped. They're from Amazon. I'll link it below. And then I just size them out. I just try them on and make sure that it covers the full nail. If you're not sure which size to do, definitely pick the bigger one instead of the smaller one. I feel like when you use smaller ones, they're more likely to pop off. If you use bigger, you can always file them down, which I'll show after this. And then making sure you have the right shape is really important for having them last too, and then preventing lifting. So the shape of everyone's nails is different. These nail beds are a little more square than mine naturally are, so I'm just filing them to better fit the shape of my nail. Okay, this part isn't 100% necessary, but I just do what I can to make them last. I just kind of buff out the underneath of the nail just so it can stick better, make that a rough surface too. Next, I take the dehydrator. Ignore the crustiness. This is from Amazon too. It just helps get rid of any like excess oil or moisture, and it just helps the glue bond better. Okay, this is the gel glue that I use, and here's the LED light. So I like the gel that you squeeze out instead of the ones that you paint on. I just squeeze like a pea-size amount into the nail. I'll show you here. And then from there, I just press it onto the nail, starting at the base and then gently pressing up to the tip. And when I'm curing it, I hold it down with my other hand for at least like 10 seconds to prevent air bubbles. And then I'll just show you a few more times the amount of gel that I use and how to press it down for the best application. Sometimes if I let go and then I see air bubbles forming, I know that it's not cured enough. I just keep holding it down until I can let go, and it looks the same. In total, I cure them each for like 60 seconds, and then when I'm done, I just put the whole hand under there for another 60 seconds just to be safe. This is also why you want to measure the nails a bit bigger, if anything, instead of smaller, because when they're a little too small, you really have to push them down as you're curing them to prevent them from popping up. This is what we have. That hand is done, and then I'm just gonna go on to do the next. And then one more time, here's the amount that I do to keep it from coming out the top and make sure it still covers the whole nail. Okay, both hands are done, and then I just take my acrylic cutter and shorten them a little bit. You don't need to do this, it just makes it easier for cutting. Okay, and these nails are coffin shaped, but after cutting off a lot of the length, they look a little bit more rectangular. So I just take my straight nail clippers and kind of chop some off the sides to make it more coffin shaped. And then if you want to do almond, you definitely can. I just cut them into more of a V and then use a file to round out the tip a bit. Now I'm going in and perfecting the length with the clippers and making sure that they're all even. Then I just file down the sides to make sure that there's no unevenness from using the clippers to shape them a bit, and kind of just perfecting the shape. And then when I'm doing the second hand, you probably see your nail tech do this. I just always compare and look at both hands together to make sure that everything is uniform. Okay, done with all the shaping and forming of the nails. Now for the more fun part. This whole thing of gel colors was only like $13 on Amazon. I always make sure to open it and look at the color because sometimes it looks a little bit different. And then I was having such a hard time deciding. I did it on pink because it's about to be Valentine's Day. And the set comes with a top and base coat, but they're kind of small, so I ran out. I have the same ones in bigger size. So I just go in with the base coat very carefully on the whole hand and then cure that for 60 seconds. I like to do one hand at a time. I just find it's easier for me. And then going in with a pink, when I'm painting gel on longer nails, I like to just paint the top half first, and then I go in and perfect the cuticle. When I do this, I just always make sure I check both sides, make sure that the polish is covering every bit of the nail. And this is what I love about gel. You can just keep going over it, making sure there's no streaks, making sure everything's covered without getting all goopy like regular polish. I cure that for 60 to 90 seconds, and then I go in with the top coat. Make sure you're just as careful and precise with the top coat as you are with the color, because if that gets on the edges, sometimes it can make them look crusty. But I love this top coat, it's super shiny. So I'm gonna go ahead and cure that, and then I decided to do a little Valentine's Day design. So I take the red and then my biggest dotting tool, and I use that to form a heart. So for the heart, it's kind of easy. You just do the 2 dots and then drag it down into a point. So cute for Valentine's Day. I usually don't really do designs, but I wanted to add a little something. And I'm just adding another layer of top coat just over that nail. And I was scared to do this with my non-dominant hand, but you can see I'm doing it here. It actually turned out better than the other one did. So here's the final look. Salon quality, super cute Valentine's Day nails. Save your money and do this at home. I love how these look, and I actually enjoy doing them too. It's very therapeutic. So I hope you guys try it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will link everything that I used below.